Hey everybody, Jack here. You're probably looking at this thumbnail and thinking, what the heck is this guy saying now? I've been trying to do a blind playthrough of the TLC without looking anything up or, looking at things on YouTube or following guides or anything. So I wanted to do a quick video on a discovery I think I made based on one of the theories that I've made previously. If you've never watched any of my videos before, I look at Elden Ring from the perspective of a George R. R. Martin fan and a Hidetaka Miyazaki fan, as well as a Berserk fan, and I feel pretty confident in my ability to be able to take apart what is put in here by George R. R. Martin and what was here because of Hidetaka Miyazaki. If that type of perspective is interesting to you, please consider liking and subscribing. One of the theories that I've had is that Miquella has been pulling the strings the entire time. You shouldn't trust him. Another theory was that Saint Trina is like this god, communicates through dreams and sleep with people, and that Miquella and Saint Trina may be separate entities, one representing like the masculine and the other representing the feminine. And I started to notice that while going through this level, what those things that everyone thought were boats, an item or something calls them coffins or like a ghost NPC. And then the mountains started getting jagged and kind of like unreal. There's like nothing in the game that like looks like that. And then when I came up on one of those coffins, come over the edge, and then I see this, the finger ruins of Raya. Now, this is like, I'm like, I don't know what to think. Like a make of this. Is this like, is this where the fingers come from? Is this like the two fingers come from here and the three fingers come from here? And then, after this area, I find this like item that just like blows my mind. One of my other, I guess, big theories is, if you like look at my channel name, is that there's a lot of mimicry going on in Elden Ring. And some of the mimics I think that exist in the game are Ratigan. I think the Carians might all be mimics. I think our Tarnished is a mimic tier. Astel, the Natural Born, I think that one's a mimic. I also think the Dark Moon is a mimic. So, I've been doing a lot of like crazy theorizing with like mimicry and stuff. And, just because some of that stuff is like kind of present in George R. R. Martin's work. George R. R. Martin isn't just the writer for Song of Ice and Fire and his TV show Game of Thrones, but he's also a prolific science fiction author. And one of his science fiction series is called The Thousand Worlds. It is set in a time thousands upon thousands of years into the future, yada yada, who cares? But humans develop an ability to manipulate the genetics of anything with these giant spaceships called seed ships, and are fighting what is known as a double war against two hive mind alien races. And while that like sounds like really crazy to bring that up when talking about Elden Ring, we have to remember that like the Elden Beast came on a star from the sky. Like literal magic is glintstone. Like you are using magic rocks from space to have telekinetic powers. To make puppets and enslave people, you have to get starlight shards. So there's a lot of like space kind of alien stuff already within Elden Ring, but it kind of just like the game kind of just like looks fantasy, like Game of Thrones kind of just looks fantasy. But then we get to an area like this, and this doesn't look like anything in the main game. Like this is absolutely like astonishing. And every time I flip over the map, I think like this is also where Limgrave is kind of supposed to be if you match them up. So I break out of this wall area, and a finger creeper assails me. These are, similar to the ones you find in Carian Manor and the Carian Study Hall. These are the ones that have the rings that can freeze you. I don't think any of the mountaintops of the giants can do that. Reikart's hands kind of look like these, and Reikart's has a lot of rings on his fingers, so I've always thought that they were his hands. But now, looking at this place, I don't know whose hands they are. And we're coming up on that item. So if you, this isn't the item, but this is a nail stone. It says flake-like stone shard with a faint fingerprint engraving. Material used for crafting items. Found at finger ruins. A piece that came loose from the tip of one of the column-like stone fingers that grow at finger ruins. So I haven't, this is where I'm at in the game. I'm not any further. I haven't watched any guides. I haven't seen anyone else's stuff. So I don't know if there's like a crafting recipe for nailstone yet. But like I've been picking up like a lot of stuff in the game that like doesn't have a crafting recipe, but they say it's a crafting item. And I've been playing like, it feels like 10 hours or something. And I get all these items and I can't craft anything with them. So it made me feel a little suspicious of, what the heck is going on here. I fiddle with my items. And then I find this finger mimic. The finger mimic says light pink mushroom resembling a wizened finger. Material used for crafting items. When I think wizened finger, I think of the wizened tarnished finger that can leave messages. It says something like those who came before to help those who would come after. Used to by those who wish to become fingers to induce hallucinations. They call these mushrooms the stillborn of the two fingers. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. The fingers are a mushroom. Two fingers are a mushroom. And they can induce hallucinations. There are a lot of Thousand World stories about fungus that takes over people's minds and has them kill each other. For example, the short story Men of Greywater Station, which also has an interesting line that it opens up where a spaceship lands on the planet, and it says, this is a star of ill omen. And if we look at the Astel Natural Born of the Void, that is called a star of ill omen too. So we have a connection there, but that's not what we're worried about. It's about this fungus on this planet that gives these people nightmares and bad dreams and makes them hallucinate and they kill each other. But that's not the only thing called, we have mimic ashes and finger mimic, but there's another mimic in the game. Now, one of the things I've been having issues with the DLC is it feels like there's no sites of grace outside of the Ghost Plains. You get all the sites of grace in the Ghost Plains, and then after that, no more sites of grace. I've been just wandering without finding anything. And I think I know why. There is another item in the game called the Grace Mimic. It is a fetish indicating the guidance of grace. Similar to grace, this fetish draws rays guiding the way, only without any sense of order. Is this where all the graces have gone? They're just mimic graces? Grace mimics? The two fingers right here. Is this one the mimic? So, yeah. I think I named my channel the right thing. Consider liking and subscribing. Catch you later.